1, 2, and 3, report to the bullpen. Heat 1, 2,
Testing,
and 3.
testing. Testing 1, 2, 3, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Parkway Valentine's Invite. This is the Division I virtual swim meet, and tonight we've got a great one on tap for you as we look at the next generation of superstar swimmers here in this first session. It'll be the 10 and unders and the 11 and 12s here in this portion of the session. My name is Matt Judkins, along with Kevin Girth. We're going to bring you tonight's action, and we hope you enjoy all of it. We are right now in the midst of the very first event of the night, and it is heat number 1 of the girls' 200-yard IM. This is from top to bottom of your screen. That's lane number 1 down to lane number 8. In that order, that's how we will go all weekend if you're joining us for the first time. Starting in lane number 1, that's Lucy Fox, a 9-year-old for Parkway. Heidi Haberstroh, she's from Parkway, a 10-year-old in lane 2. Addison Lehman from the Rockwood program in lane number 3. Jane Muirhead from Rockwood in lane 4. Evie McDowell from Parkway in lane 5. Aubrey Zirkelbach, she is in lane 6 from Rockwood. Rockwood's Abby Ross in lane 7. And Emma DeBosch, a 7-year-old, down at the bottom of your screen in lane number 8. So that's how these youngsters line up. Of course, this is the 200-yard IM. So every one of the swimmers will do one full lap of each of the strokes. For those of you not familiar, as these are a lot of youngsters, you may not be, that means you'll start off with the butterfly, you'll go down and back, you'll switch to the backstroke, which many of the swimmers are on right now, finishing that up, and a number of them have already gotten onto the breaststroke, the third stroke, and they'll finish off with 50 yards of the freestyle. And we've already got one front runner out there, almost down to touch the wall here. That is lane number 4, and that's Jane Muirhead. She's a 10-year-old for Rockwood. No recorded times for any of these 8 youngsters thus far, and we'll see that throughout a lot of the events in the first heat, maybe the second heat of a number of these events throughout the evening. So a lot of them looking to establish something for the first time. For all the ones who do have an established time, they're looking to best that time. And of course, championship style meet here this evening, so we will have a first, a second, and third place based on all the standings, and we'll bring that to you as things wind up for each event. Typically it'll be about an event behind, but we hope you enjoy everything that we bring you tonight. We want to thank, of course, we can't have any of this, none of this is possible without our technician, cameraman, producer, director, and all-around good guy, Kevin Girth. He makes all this happen from the control center here, what we'll call the press box, as we are not quite at mid-pool here at the Kirkwood Walker Natatorium. So again, coming down to the end, we've got our first finisher in, 2 more coming in just a moment. First finisher finishing in a time of 3:05:44, very good time for the young 10-year-old. One of the things we will look for throughout the course of the weekend, through all the session, is how do these times stack up with time standards? Are they B times? Are they double B times? Are they triple A times? And then as we get into some of the older kids and some of the older sessions, they'll be looking for sectional type cuts. So we'll describe all that as we go throughout the rest of the weekend. Next couple of swimmers in, lane number 2, that was Haberstroh. She came in second in the heat. Lanes number 6, 7, and 8, third, fourth, and fifth in the heat. And that was Zirkelbach, Ross, and DeBosch. 6th place in lane number 3 was Lehman, and we were just about rounding things out. Might have had a soft touch on one of the youngsters, as they wouldn't have a registered time in lane 5, but she definitely finished. And rounding things out will be Lucy Fox. Now we will head to heat number 2. You'll hear the referee blow the whistle, and of course we want to thank all the officials for giving up their time this weekend. See Mike Favazza, the head official, over there with the microphone and the buzzer. He'll start things off. We'll thank the volunteers that we've got listed so far here this evening. Ruth Price is our meet director. Of course, Blair Porter is our marshal, and he'll be the PA announcer this evening. Katie Schaefer and Sonny Henley over at the scorer's table, taking care of all the technical parts of the event, as well as Bridget Rashi helping check things in, and Trish Hager. So those are the folks volunteering. And of course, we've got a number of folks timing here this evening. We'll get those names for you as we go on throughout the entire evening. As we get set for number 2, heat number 2. Excuse me. See those things, guys? Don't come across that side, okay? That's why that's there. All right, so here we go with heat number 2, and we'll bring you these young ladies as we go. Once again, these are 8, 9, and 10-year-olds. Starting off in lane number 1 will be Julia Bucci. She is an 8-year-old from Rockwood. Alina Bextemuller, she is a 9-year-old from Rockwood in lane 2. Lauren Stein from Rockwood in lane 3. She's 10 years old, followed by Esther Borgmeyer in lane 4 from Parkway. Grace Hager in lane 5 from Parkway. Those 3 in the middle are all 10-year-olds. A 9-year-old Chloe Bellin from Rockwood in lane 6. Abby McGuire and Mia Robles in lane 7 and 8, both from Rockwood, both 10 years old. Every one of the swimmers in this event, except for the swimmer in lane number 8, have an established time, and they'd like the best that time as they get started here this evening. Number of the swimmers now to the wall, but all this being front ran by Esther Borgmeyer. She comes in with a starting time of 3:09.82. So she's looking to best that. Of course, top time by Muirhead in that first heat was 3:05.44. So she would love to get into that first place position.
Girls 209 report to the bullpen.
She'll touch the wall on the backstroke. Now, you'll notice throughout the evening, a lot of these youngsters still learning the strokes, of course. Some of them have been swimming for a number of years, but very much on the beginner side of things, all these 10 and unders, and some of them more skilled at the different strokes. As we go throughout the course of the weekend, especially in these individual medley races, you will see some swimmers much more adept at one stroke or the other, some very even across all these strokes. And right now, that's what we're seeing from Borgmeyer in lane number 4, as she is continuing to push herself back to the middle of the pool. And of course, big thing for these youngsters as they switch from stroke to stroke is making sure that they technically get the strokes correct. So you see a number of officials walking around the pool, not because they want to DQ these youngsters. This is a learning experience, especially when you talk about a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 9 or a 10-year-old. They're still trying to figure out how to swim that breaststroke. How do they swim that backstroke and make a turn into a different stroke? All these things, as Borgmeyer now almost down to her last 25 as she gets ready to touch the wall. She will win this heat. She is really blazing down the pool. She's looking to go maybe under 3 minutes on this one. We'll see what her split looks like right now, but she's looking very strong as she heads back down to the wall. She will definitely go under 3 minutes, so a nice time drop for her in this one, as she'll touch the wall in under 3 minutes at 2:55.20. So great time for her. And again, we'll start to talk about some of these different achievements. You know, what does a AAA and a AA, all these different types of time standards mean? But that 2:55 for her, solidly in that double B range, just off of a single A range. So great swim for her as she moves into that higher ranking and drops almost over 14 seconds from her previous best time. Finishing things out now in lane number 3. In second place was Stein. Third and fourth in lanes number 5 and 6 were Belden and McGuire. Fifth and sixth and 2 and 1 were Bextemuller and Bucci. And then in lane 7, McGuire and Robles in lane number 8. That's how we'll finish this one out. The swimmers will hop out. You'll notice a little bit different than some of the meets you may have seen in the past. There are no flyover starts, which means the swimmers will be ready and get up on the blocks. Every swimmer exit the pool. They will move to the far side of the pool. That's the top of your screen. And they will work counterclockwise around the pool as they exit. They'll clear it for the next swimmers, and important that they put their masks back on. Very important in these COVID times that everything runs smoothly, and that's what Marshall Blair Porter really will emphasize with these youngsters. Oftentimes, as we watch our children get a little bit older, as I am a swim dad and have two in the older age groups, you notice that one of the things that swimming really helps with is really keeping them focused and disciplined, and that's really what they have to do here as they move around the perimeter of the pool to make sure we follow all those COVID protocols. We will now go to the boys 10 and under, 200-yard IM. We will have 3 heats of this one. So the first heat with just a few swimmers in it. I think we're waiting for one more young man to get up towards the block, and then we will see if they'll call anybody in. But giving those swimmers, again, a chance to exit once again. Well, we want to remind everybody now, like, share, and subscribe. That's what we'd like to see you do with our page here, this YouTube channel. The more likes, shares, and subscribes we get, the more broadcasts we're going to bring you. Of course, we brought you the Parkway Senior Invite just a couple of weeks ago, and some quick stats for those of you who watched that one. We've had over 11,000 views, 2,300 hours. I want to tell you something, folks. Super Bowl's got nothing on what we produced here a few weeks ago, and right now we stand at 574 subscribers, so let's keep those numbers moving up. So we'll have 3 competitors here in this first heat for the young men. It'll be Bentley Lewis from Rockwood, just an 8-year-old in lane number 3. Lane number 5 will be Jackson Kopass from Rockwood as well, a 9-year-old, in lane number 6. Adric Bextemuller, he's just a 7-year-old, and he is also from Rockwood. So 3 youngsters from the Rockwood program doing battle here in heat number 1. No established time for these youngsters. So whatever they put in tonight will be a nice establishment for them. Well, folks, we have a lot of fun doing these broadcasts, of course, and you can text us right there. You can use the group chat on the side of the YouTube page, and we'll give some shout-outs if anybody says anything. If we mispronounce a name, let us know. I want to get it right, so you can let us know. I'm also going to fire something off to you, my phone number. Send me a text, 314-369-3289. We'll try and keep up with them as best we can. But give a shout-out to young Johnny, young Janie. Grandma and Grandpa, if you're out there watching and viewing here this evening, we'd love to hear from you. Aunts, uncles, all that. Let me know your name, who you're rooting for, maybe a tidbit or two about the youngster, and we'll broadcast it right here on the air as we are now in the backstroke for all 3 of these young men on the last 25 of that. And way to go, Eliana from Salina. So we got our first shout-out of the night, and always fun to hear from folks. We know you can't be here spectating. I know it's hard for parents. I've been in that boat. And we want to cheer these youngsters on, give them that encouragement, give them that positive feedback. Well, we can give them a little positive feedback so when they go and back and watch it, when they're at home, so you can let them watch the delayed version of this. I think a lot of the youngsters get a kick out of hearing their name mentioned on the air. Now continuing to lead here in that lane number 5 in good fashion is Kopis. He's a 9-year-old again for Rockwood. Once the youngsters touch on this breaststroke, then they'll come back for the freestyle. But, boy, with very good, strong breaststroke up there in lane number 3 is Bentley Lewis. And we talked about this with the girls. Sometimes you're going to have swimmers that are stronger in one stroke than the other. And right now, Lewis showing his quality. Boy, oh boy, with a blazing breaststroke. He'll touch the wall first and go back the other way. He'll be the first one into that freestyle. He did that 50 breast in under a minute, 54 for him. It's catapulted him just into a slight lead. Now they're in the freestyle, and they're even as they come to touch the wall back for this last 25. This one's going to come right down to it, folks, so stay tuned as we bring you to the end of this race. Well, we want to give some shout-outs to Best Stone, the Heat Swim team. Thank you, Parker, for allowing them to compete. They were here at the Senior Invite the other week, too. Great competitors from the Heat program. A lot of high-quality swimmers. We look forward to having them this weekend, as long as the teams from Rockwood and Hannibal here this weekend. First one into the wall. Bentley Lewis with a nice back half of that 200 IM. 3:20.22. Great established time for that young man as he gets his first one. Coming in at 3:23.68 in lane 5 was Kopis, and Bextemuller with a strong swim as well. He'll go under 3:40 at 3:38.04. Nice job, young men. First time out for them. And I think they'll be excited with those times. They'll now go back and talk to their coaches, get some words of encouragement, maybe a little breakdown of how they swam. Hannah Borgmeyer, we want to give a shout out to her. And, of course, it was young Esther with that quality time of 2:55.28 in that first heat. Or that second heat, the first event for the girls. So nice job there. We get set for the next one. Parkway families, we can still use a couple more volunteers to time keep, so check out that Parkway page. That link was sent out earlier in the week. Make sure you check that out and log in as we get set for heat number 2. But one good thing about this weekend, it really opens the pores of the skin. It gets you out of that dry air. You're in moist air, and I plan on losing about 5 pounds this weekend just sweating here in the sauna. So it's a great weekend for me to do that. Here we go in heat number 2. Liam Locke from Rockwood. He's a 10-year-old in lane number 1. No one in lane number 2. But Mahir Patel in lane number 3. He is also from Rockwood and a 10-year-old. Grayson Langdon, he's a speedster. He's a 9-year-old from Parkway in lane number 4. Dothresh Crawley from Rockwood in lane number 5, just an 8-year-old. And a 9-year-old from Rockwood, Chris Luckner in lane 6. Lane 7 is vacated, and then Parker Schultz from Parkway in lane number 10. The 2 in the outside lanes, no established time yet. Best established time, again, coming in, Grayson Langdon. We talked about it. He is a speedster, 3:20.14. He's in lane 4. He'll be the first one to touch the wall off of that butterfly. Right there with him is Collie in lane 5. So they're going neck and neck right now with a backstroke, but a strong stroke now for Collie. He's pulled slightly ahead. Came back a little bit in that breaststroke after a strong start from Langdon. As all these young men now into the backstroke. And you'll watch these strokes vary. As the youngsters get older, you'll notice the swimmers maybe that are a little bit more stronger, even as they're young. These are some power strokes, known as power strokes, the butterfly and the backstroke. Then you'll get into that very technical stroke, the butterfly, before they really get into that blazing freestyle. Shout out to Jennifer Moore, said go Heat, and Selena Calix has said great streaming. Well, we appreciate that. We're happy we can bring it to you. And to Mary Liston as well. Thanks to all those folks for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribing now. Share it with your friends. And say hello to Garner. Go Parkway. You can see that right there up there on the message board. Again, you can text me if you feel like it, 314-369-3289. Parker Schultz says, go, go, go. We got one on our text line, so thank you for that. As we get ready to get into that final stroke after the breaststroke, again, very strong. We talked about young Grayson. We know he's got some speed. The 9, Grayson Langdon into the freestyle, followed closely in behind there by Collie. Trying to catch him up. A nice smooth stroke for both of these young men. Speed can be about a number of things. It could be about that energy level. It could be about the muscle, physical part of it. It could be all about the mental part. How strong mentally can you be? And, of course, for these youngsters, this is a bit of a distance event. Later on this evening, if you tune in to the later session, we'll have the older kids, and they'll be competing in that 400-yard IM. First one to the wall now. Blazing time, under 3:10 for Grayson Langdon for the 9-year-old. He'll come in at 3:09.59. So great job for him. And again, we start to look at where does that rank on these A, triple A, B, double B. That's a solid double B time for him. Right behind him at 3:15.30. In second place was Collie. So just an 8-year-old there, and he's very strong. Just off of that double B time, but a solid B time for him. Third place in the heat Mahir Patel in lane 3 is now, we got a couple more coming in here as we finish out this freestyle. Lane number 6 will be the next one to touch. That's Luckner, followed right in behind him by Schultz.
5, 6, 7.
Excuse me, that was
8 swimmers up in the bleachers. They don't have their mask on.
lane number 1 is Lauk, and then Lammons now finishing things out. Strong swims for all these youngsters all the way around as they get ready to do battle here later this evening. So some of them will swim double events tonight, but they'll be swimming throughout the weekend.
Swimmers next to the pool.
Go Parkway and go Sarah Hahn. So young Sarah will be swimming this evening. She's an 11-year-old. She'll be in her first year for Parkway, and we'll give her a shout-out later, but she got a nice note from her family tonight. They said, hey, you know what? She's a multi-sport athlete. Great to see these youngsters competing in multiple sports, as they will, of course, gravitate towards 1, 2, or 3, but she also plays soccer. We want to give a shout-out to Gavin Baldus. Of course, Gavin not competing tonight, but we saw him at the senior champs. High-quality, high-level swimmer, that young man. Also attends St. Louis U High. Go, Logan, go. This is Lisa Adkins. We'll see Logan later as we now hit heat number 3 for the boys. Top to bottom of your screen, all late lanes occupied. It'll be Trey Cottle from Parkway in lane number 1. It'll be Jacob Corbett from Rockwood in 2. Daniel Sattler from Rockwood in lane 3. William Zhang from Rockwood in lane 4. He comes in with a 2:44.14 with a nice time. Cole Strom from Parkway in lane 5. Mason Mollering from Parkway in lane 6. All 6 of those young men, 10-year-olds, and it'll be rounded out by Logan Adkins. We just had that shout-out a moment ago. He's a 9-year-old for Rockwood, and his teammate Graham Hall, also a 9-year-old from Rockwood. So there you go. Jennifer Gutierrez says, go Jacob. Shout out to Mary Liston as well. So there you go. The Patels, hello to you guys, and thanks for the shout out. Go Casey Chapman, from Vicky Chapman. So we'll get all those shout outs as we go. Pace picking up here a little bit now as you got some more experienced swimmers in this one. 6 10-year-olds, a couple of 9-year-olds. Middle of the pool right now, it is William Zhang, and he is blazing away. He'll touch right now, just under 1:15 on his split. He'll go back the other way after he had just over a 40-second backstroke. He's about a body length and a half ahead of Cole Strom, and then followed in behind young Cole in lane number 7 is Logan Adkins. Sattler in 3, Mollering right there as well. So good times right now by all these young men, and this is where some of them make up some time. Some of them more adept at doing that breaststroke than others, and right now the 2 front runners here in this event doing battle. It's Zhang and Strom. They came in with the top 2 times, and right now Strom closing the gap slightly on this breaststroke. Long strides for him. You want to come just out of the water. As we like to explain to some of the swimmers, you don't want to have that big shark fin come out of the water. You want to be more like an eel where you're just kind of right along that water's edge. But a good touch there and a good flip. And Zhang will go the other way. Now he's opened up his body length lead after a nice breakout for him on the turn. Third one into the wall in lane number 3 will be Sattler. As Zhang will stretch things out a little bit. Again, trying to beat that 2:44.14 established time he had and win the event. Both of these youngsters looking to drop some time, and right now they're looking to do just that. But boy, oh boy, here comes Strom. He's closing the gap as we get down to it. Inside the last 7 or 8 yards, it looks like Zhang's going to just hold him off. He's going to touch it at best time. He did that split in 36.89 on the freestyle, and his best time, 2:44.18 for him. So he's right on his best time. Actually, he had a soft touch. That was actually Strom's best time, 2:44.18. So he bests his time by 7 seconds. But I want to say in lane number 4 there, Zhang, he definitely was first to touch, and he dropped about 2 seconds off his previous time. Coming in right after that is Sattler, followed in lane number 7 by Mollering, then Adkins. Mollering coming in at a 2:59.09. His father right down there in that green soccer jersey. Big Matt is a former soccer player, and he's out here supporting Parkway tonight as he is a timer. So cheering on his youngster, and that's always exciting when you get to be down there on the pool deck and you see your youngster swim. Rounding things out again, It'll be Adkins, followed by Cottle, Hall, Corbett, and that'll round things out. So nice swim by all those young men, but a great time. Both the two front runners with established best times. Number of swimmers going under 3 minutes there. So nice job for those youngsters. And a couple of them getting that solid A time, with Zhang and Cole going under that 2:50.99 mark is where they wanted to go, and they did just that. And they get that A time. They're first in that 200-yard IM. Well, Mike Winky says, go Ryan Winky. Excuse me. Good luck, Claire. That's from Danilo Luna. Give it your all. And so we want to say hello. And then Abby Pfeiffer says, go Parkway. So thanks to all those folks. Now we'll move to the 200-yard IM for the 11 and 12-year-old girls. Now, there will be a number of girls in the first two heats that do not have established times. And right now we've got 4 swimmers up in the blocks. They're going to be in lanes 3, 4, 5, and 6. As we have one of the first, this is the first of 6 heats, Starting things off from Parkway. In lane number 3 will be Shannon Higgins. She's an 11-year-old. Gladra Spann from Rockwood, a 12-year-old in lane number 4. Sarah Hahn, we just got a shout out for her a moment ago in lane 5 for Parkway. And Madeline Tucker for Parkway, an 11-year-old in lane number 6. And right now, Tucker looking strong in that butterfly stroke as she'll touch the wall and go back the other way.
Girls 11 and 12, 200-yard IM. Heat 6, report to the bullpen area. Heat 6, report to the bullpen area.
Jennifer Gutierrez says, go Parkway, and Colby Robick says, go Colby. So there you go. Colby to Colby. Of course, Vicki Rollbeck down on the pool deck timing here this evening. And again, we want to thank all the volunteers. We'll get you that list of names as we go on throughout the evening. Can't do this without those volunteers, that's for sure. So, still continuing to front run into the backstroke. Now you go out and swim fast. All right?
I'm racing until 6:45.
Well, then you got to get ready. Go do a warm-up.
What time is it right now?
All right, we're back here. Just a little bit of housekeeping we had to do here at the swim meet, and we're good to go. As we are now. The announcer's having a few technical difficulties, so. And I'm sure somewhere my wife is laughing as well. But now the young ladies coming down as they compete in this breaststroke. First one to the wall here, lane number 6. Very, very fast time is Madeline Tucker. Again, she's an 11-year-old for Parkway. She's kind of led this all the way through. Touching second from Rockwood will be Gladra Spann, followed by Sarah Hahn and Shannon Higgins. Again, all 4 of these young ladies trying to make an established time. They have not gotten this 200-yard IM yet under their belt. A number of these young ladies just started with the programs. And so, you know, nice to see them out here competing in all the strokes. Sometimes it takes a swimmer a year or 2 or 3 to get it. And I'll tell you a little experience here if I can relate it. Later this evening, my son will swim in the 400-yard IM. And it took him about 3 years before he could make it through all 4 of the strokes without getting DQ'd. Isabella, you got this. Go Parkway. That's from Beth Dillander. Tino Lopez say, go Parkway, please. So here we go. Let's go, Alana, or Elena. That's from Vicky Chapman as well. So shout out to all of them and a nice time as we are finishing up here. Good time there in lane number 6 of 3:28.39. That's a blazing time for never having swam that before for an 11-year-old. Followed in behind in lane number 4 by Span, then Hahn. And then wrapping things up is Higgins. When we look at that 200-yard IM, that is just off of the action. So she is just off that B time, but pretty good for her first time. So congratulations to those young ladies. They got through it. Now we're going to go to heat number 2 as we sort out some of the announcer difficulties. And when we get into heat number 2, we're going to have a full slate, it looks like. Well, maybe a couple of lanes vacated here. Of course, as we go through COVID and all the other items that go through that, we'll have some scratches, whatnot.
Hey, I'm looking right at you. Put your mask on, please. Yes, that would be you. Put your mask on.
So here we go. As they continue to make sure we are within protocols.
This ain't about masks, except for put your mask on. The officials asked me to remind all the swimmers, please hit the touchpad solidly when you finish your race so you get your most accurate time, okay? Don't touch the top of the wall. Touch the touchpad straight up, please. Thank you.
We got a nice shout out here from Uncle Bob and Aunt Mindy. They want to cheer on Henry and Libby Price, who will go tonight, the two twins. Big-time Parkway family. Of course, her older sister, Lucy. She'll be swimming in the girls' state championships later this week. And then, of course, her mother. She's the one who puts all this on. She is the meet director. Without her, none of this happens. Couple more. Swim fast, Sydney Scott. That's from Noah Shot. Matthew Shot. Go get it, Sydney. Swim fast, Sydney. Swim, swim, swim. And go, Eilina. Now, here we go. Into our next heat here. Again, vacated in lane number 6, so we're without somebody in lane number 6, but let's roll this down as we get into this first butterfly. We're through our first 25. It'll be Eilina Calix. She's from Parkway, an 11-year-old. Lane 1, Claire Petrie, also from Parkway. She's an 11-year-old in lane 2. Dillander. He's from Parkway. She's from Parkway, in lane 3. Madeline Massaro. She's from Rockwood in lane 4, a 12-year-old. Kennedy Fowler in lane 5 from Rockwood. Rockwood Sydney Schott, she's in lane 7. And Quinn Porter from Parkway in lane 8, an 11-year-old. So, first one to the wall up there in lane number 1, swimming fastest far, is Eilina. And you can see those shout-outs, folks. I'm going to tell you, we found out a couple of weeks ago during that senior invite, you get a nice shout-out, all of a sudden swimmers seem to rise to the occasion. Somehow they channel the energy off the broadcast. Now as we switch strokes, we're into the backstrokes. Looks like the lead's going to change a little bit. Number of swimmers still up there, but it looks like the first one to the wall will be lane number 2, swallowed right in there behind lane number 7. So it'll be Petrie, Schott, and then Calix. Now they'll switch to the breaststroke. We talked about this a few moments ago. If you just kind of tuned in a moment in this race, sometimes those first 2 strokes, more of the power strokes, the butterfly, the backstroke. Of course, they do require a lot of technique, but no stroke is more technical than the one they're operating right now, and that is the breaststroke. And boy, oh boy, Sydney Schott down here in lane number 7 at the bottom of your screen. She's pouring it on. A couple more shout-outs. Say hey to Colby for me. So we said hey to Colby. Colby's getting a lot of shout-outs, and of course we know he will. And go Isabel from Beth Dillander. Isabella, I should say. Well, Isabella's hanging in there. She'll be ready to go here at some point. First one to the walls. We go into the freestyle. Again is Schott. She had no preliminary time coming into this one. Of course, she's a 12-year-old looking to establish one of those cuts. She'll go back the other way. Well, folks, if you're out there watching tonight, like, share, subscribe. That's what we want all the folks to do throughout the course of the weekend. Show your support for Parkway, for Rockwood, for Heat, for Hannibal, whoever it may be. Show us that support. Really comes through. First one to the wall. Nice time. 42.90 split on that freestyle. She's going to come in under 305. 303.44 for shot. So great established first time for that young lady. And she just misses that B time, just off of it by about 3 seconds. So nice job to her. Second and third in the heat will be Petrie and Kalix. Fourth place in lane number 8 will be Porter. Fifth and sixth in lanes number 4 and 3 will be Massaro and Dillander. And then rounding things out right now in lane number 5, Kennedy Fowler. Nice job to all those young ladies, all of them dropping time for the established. So nice job. That's really for the 3 that did have the established times. You want to see them come in and drop some time off their previous best. We'll get set now for heat number 3. We're going to bring you this real quick. It'll be Elise Burgess from Parkway. Lane number 1, Sophie Parkway in lane number 2. And Victoria Nolhoff, lane number 3. 11 years old. Paige Blom in lane number 4 is a 12 for Parkway. And then Lucy LaFleur from Heat is in lane number 5. In lane 6 from Rockwood, she's a 12-year-old. Willa Shank from Parkway in lane number 7. Of course, her older brother, we'll see him later this evening, Callum Shank. And then shout out to Victoria. And nice to see her at the pool this evening. Longtime friend of my daughter's and her parents. Of course, star athletes in their own right, so she's got it all. So we got a couple more shout-outs. Beth Stone says, let's go Sparkles to Lucy. Giorgio Bucci, let's just subscribe. This is awesome. Well, we're happy we can bring it to you. Go Quinn tonight. Go Parkway from Christina Cole. And another whoop, 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 whoop. For those of you who don't know, that's the sign of heat. We had a lot of those a couple of weeks ago. We got a lot more tonight. Gavin Baldus coming on with a couple more of those as well. Right now, lane number 5, front running here in this heat is LaFleur. She came in with a 3:20 flat. Paige Blom, she came in with a 3:13.18. Those are the 2 fastest times here in this particular heat. They're in the backstroke right now, and you'll start to see things change up as we go through the course of the evening based on stroke. Some swimmers stronger than other strokes. Really, at this age, they're trying to develop pace. They're getting their technique down. A lot of this is about the turn, too. How do you turn in an individual medley? First one to the wall continues to be lane number 5, and that is LaFleur, followed by Blom. Lane numbers 7 and 1, respectively, Shank and Bruges coming in right after them as they now turn and go into the breaststroke. Now, this is where we'll see a lot of swimmers who are very adept at the breaststroke. They can make up some time. All these swimmers looking to get that personal best. As LaFleur continues to lead. She has led the majority of the way here in this one. She's from Heat. Just a 12-year-old. And right now she's well under her previous best, and she's going to touch the wall. Saying the best Shank, so somebody giving a shout out to young Willa. Let's go Willa. And of course, another little tidbit about Willa, she attends Edgar Road School with my nephew Max. So Max might be out there watching tonight. Who knows? Christina Cole says, hey, go Parkway, go. You're the best. Other way now. We've got a heat now coming right down to it. We've got a couple of sprinters here in the freestyle. It's Blom and LaFleur. LaFleur with just a very slight lead. But this is going to be a battle right down to it. Both of them are going to shatter their previous best times. First one to the wall as we get down to it will be Blom as she just out-touches LaFleur at the wall, but both of them shattering their previous best times. 2:48.66 and 2:49.09 What great times for those two young ladies as they come through with blazing times well under their previous bests of 3:13.18 and 3:20 flat in that previous. And again, we're looking at, well, how do those times rank? Well, let me just tell you what happens. Solid B times for both of those young ladies. Third place, lane number 6 was Weinke. Fourth place in the heat, Nolhoff. And she will drop almost 7 seconds, over 7 seconds off her previous best time. Bruges in lane number 1. She comes in 5th in the heat. Lane number 8 was Mohan. She comes in 6th. And then rounding things out in lane 2 was Bain, followed by Willishank in lane number 7. All those youngsters dropping time, and the coaches have to be absolutely ecstatic about that. Well, we got another shout out here saying, go Alexi, go Freckles, swim fast. That's from Beth Stone, and that's for Alexi Stone. She'll be in lane 5 here in this next heat. She's from heat. She'll be in this heat, and she swims for heat. Gracie McLeod's in lane 1, Parkway 12-year-old. Ella Markham from Rockwood, an 11-year-old in lane 2, followed by a fellow 11-year-old, Laylee Herzl, and she's a Parkway swimmer in lane 3. It'll be Kennedy Johnson, the speedster. She's in lane number 4, an 11-year-old as well. Alexi Stone from heat, lane 5, 11 years old. Celine Chen, Parkway 12-year-old in lane 6. Anaya Sethi, she's in lane 7 from Parkway. She's an 11-year-old, and a 12-year-old from Parkway. Vika Anderson will round things out in lane 8. And there's Kennedy Johnson. We talked about her. She's a speedster. She's adept at all 4 of these strokes. She can swim them fast. She can also swim distances. And give a shout-out to Elaine and Mike, her parents, always around the Parkway program. We've watched this young lady progress over the course of the last several years into really one of the budding next young stars throughout the Midwest in this Ozark region as well. And young Kennedy right now has opened up about a body length lead, but a nice turn and a nice underwater for Herzl there in lane number 3 as she's right in there with her, about a body length behind. We've got a nice battle for third place down here in lanes number 5, 7, and 8 with Stone, Sethi, and Anderson. We got a Mark Langen shout out to Grayson. He did crush it earlier, I will say that, and he wants to give him a shout out. We'll go back the other way, not right now. Kennedy Johnson continuing to lead things off. Again, she's got about a body length lead right now, just slightly over Herzl, and a couple of more swimmers coming in. This breaststroke is one of those difference maker strokes, and right now in lane number 8, Vicki Anderson, she's really coming on strong in the breaststroke. She's now pulled ahead in third place by about a body length over the next couple of competitors. First one closer to her is Anaya Sethi. Kennedy Johnson, though, showing her quality now. She's going to come to the wall, continuing to lead. Kennedy's best personal is 3:01.43. She's looking to shatter that right now, and I expect her to do that. She touches the wall in just about 2:10. We'll see where she goes now, but it's Anderson in second place. It was 2:11.32 on that split for Johnson, and now she really shows the type of swimmer she is. But look at this strong one down here in lane number 8 in Anderson. It's an 11-year-old and a 12-year-old. They are taking it out right now. Kennedy Johnson, first one to the wall on a flip turn. Who's got the jets to come back in? In that previous head, it was Blom and LaFleur who came right down to it as Blom just out-touched LaFleur. Right now, though, it's Johnson, and it's Anderson coming down. It'll be Kennedy Johnson. She's going to drop significant time off her previous best, which was 3:01.43. She'll touch the wall. 37.32 on that freestyle split. 2:48.64 for that young lady. What a time for Kennedy Johnson as she drops 13 seconds off her previous time. And way to go to that young lady. Followed in again right behind her, Anderson. Third place in the heat in lane number 3 was Herzl. In lane 7, it was Sethi. Stone and Chen in 5th and 6th place, followed up by Markham and McLeod. But Kennedy Johnson, strong swim again for that young lady. 200-yard IM. And she is just off that double B time in the very tough 200-yard IM by just about 1 second. The young 11-year-old. We'll move now to heat number 6. Heat number 6 here. We'll have a full slate, all 8 lanes occupied. It'll be Allison Moffitt from Rockwood in lane 1. It'll be Clara Budge from Rockwood in lane 2. It'll be the Parkway's Ellen Fu in lane 3. Those are all 3 young ladies are 12-year-olds. Raglan Winkler, also a 12-year-old from Rockwood in lane 4. And then we'll be followed up by 4 11-year-olds. Peyton Robick, she's a speedster as well in lane 5. Arana Hewitt in lane 6 from Parkway. Aditi Roy in lane 7 from Rockwood. And then Margaret Mendoza from Parkway in lane number 8. Right now, middle of the pool, we've got a battle going on. It's Robick and Winkler as we get away from that backstroke, or that butterfly into the backstroke. Also right in there is Ellen Fu. Those 3 continuing to lead right now, but stretching it out is Reagan Winkler a little bit, the 12-year-old from Rockwood. She came in with the best time of 2:44.71, a solid double B time for her. A couple of shout-outs now. Go Clara, we're cheering you on from Utah. That's from Uncle Payson and Aunt Wizzy. Thanks for streaming, folks. Well, we got to thank Kevin Girth for that. A couple of more. Swim Fast Reagan. Great job, Leela. That's from Joyce Restivo. Mary Liston saying thanks to all the officials. We can't thank them any more than we already do. And, of course, Go Peyton. That's from Ryan Matheny. He's one of those folks that has subscribed and he's shared and he's liked and he's viewed and he's done everything else. He helps us make it up. Hello to Mary from the Matheny's as well. So here we go now. We got a battle now as we go through this breaststroke for second place. It's Robick and Fu in lanes number 5 and 3 respectively, as they are just about a body length, almost 2 body lengths behind Winkler. She opens it up a little bit in this breaststroke. They're trying to close the gap right now, and that's what Robick is doing. Robick now coming on strong, trying to get to the wall first into the freestyle, and she is a very strong freestyler. We know Winkler is as well, so here they go. It will be Robick touching in just about 2:03 on that split. We'll get the split for her. Now she goes into the freestyle. Of course, a multi-sport athlete is young Peyton Robick. She plays soccer, not just at a regular level, at a star high level. So here she goes, showing that athleticism right now. She's stretched out about 2/3 of a body length lead. She'll get into flip turn. Let's see what the underwater's like. Nice underwater for her. Good one also there for Winkler. They're going to come right down to it. Both of these looking to maybe get an A time. Let's see if they can do it. That A time here for this 200-yard IM, 2:34. They'll be just off of that. They'll be in that solid B time, so can they get a best time? Peyton Robick will be the first one to touch, followed in there closely behind by Reagan Winkler, and they both are 2:39.58 and 2:40.58 respectively, just 1 second apart, and they are both going to drop time. Congratulations to those young ladies. Right in behind them, lane number 3 is Fu. In lane number 6 is Hewitt. So it's following suit down in lane number 8 with a nice swim. Margaret Mendoza, she dropped some significant time of 6 seconds for that young lady. 6th place in the heat goes to lane number 2, Clara Budge. And then rounded things out by Roy and Moffitt. So congratulations to those young ladies. Great swim. That can be grueling. Well, Sierra Graham coming up here in this next one. She gets a shout out from Ryan Matheny. Way to go, Reagan. That's from Lindsay Winkler. So Beth Stone wants to say hello, thanks to Coach Nick Cooper as well, and all the top Knockets coaches. Of course, none of these swimmers learn without those coaches. And I call them youngsters because they're all considerably younger than me, at least the ones on the pool deck tonight. There are some older ones out there, but we won't mention them. They'll make their appearances throughout the weekend. Here we go in heat number 6. Leah DeBosch, still an 11-year-old. She's from Parkway in lane 1. Addison Pfeiffer from Rockwood, along with her teammate Elise Hamlick. They're in lanes 2 and 3. Olivia Johnson, she is from Hannibal in lane number 4. She's a speedster. Sierra Graham, also a speedster in lane 5. That's a couple of 12-year-olds. She's from Parkway. Lana Bingaman, she's a 12-year-old from Rockwood in 6 and a 12-year-old from Parkway. Jessa Lee, and then Amelia Martin. She is unattached, and she's in lane number 8. So all powerful swimmers. Of course, Jessa Lee can jump up and get this one. We want to give a shout-out to her sister Samantha, who will be competing in the Missouri State Girls High School Championships later next week. Of course, Jessa, a strong swimmer as well. We'll give shout-outs to Sarah and Justin, her parents, who will be volunteering throughout the weekend as well. Well, go Sierra. This is your aunt watching in Colorado. So hello to her. Go Sierra, also from Melissa Matheny. Go Jessa from Melissa Matheny as well. But front running right now from Hannibal, and she's doing a strong swim, Olivia Johnson. She'll be the first one to touch now in this breaststroke. And Olivia came to this one with a preliminary time of 2:20.46, and that 2:20.46 is a solid AAA time for that young lady. She's looking now for that quad A, and she's starting to stretch out her lead a little bit. Other swimmers, if they stay in there right behind her, they can draft off her and maybe pick up some time as well. Right now it's Sierra Graham, of course, Sierra's father, an official as well. He's out there this evening. We want to say hello to him and all the volunteering he does for the Parkway program. Sierra in second place right now in this heat. Her best time coming in was 2:29.86. She's looking to eclipse that right now. She's into the freestyle, and she's got an opportunity to do it. But right now, it is Olivia Johnson. She's looking to go under 2:20.46. Quadruple A time for this is 2:15.19. I don't know if she's going to quite get there, but I think she will beat her best time. She will do that. She will go under 2:20. So nice job by Olivia Johnson. She'll come in at 2:17.99. Coming in right in behind her, Sierra Graham. Will she get a best time? She will. She'll go under her best time of 2:29. Nice drop for her at 2:28.34. So way to go to those two. And then coming in third place in the heat in lane number 2 is Addison Pfeiffer. Fourth place in lane number 3 is Hamlink. Fifth place down in lane number 8 is Martin. Sixth place in lane number 6 is Bingaman, followed by DeBosch and Jessa Lee. So nice job to all those young ladies. And across the board, we had drops in time. So congratulations. Great, great races, great athleticism. Way to put on the show. We like bringing you the sights and sounds, but it's really the swimmers that show you the performance. And by doing so, they provide the entertainment. We just bring you the pictures and maybe a little bit of a description so you know who's in each of one of the heats. So we are now through 3 events. We'll move on to event number 4. This is the 11 and 12-year-old 200-yard IM. We'll have 3 heats of this one. And again, it will go butterfly, back, and breast, followed by the freestyle. Just 2 competitors in this one. They'll come in lanes number 3 and 4. A couple of Parkway swimmers, a couple of 12-year-olds. Howard Quinn in lane number 3 and Michael Purcell in lane number 4. So we'll watch these two, neither one of them with an established time as yet.
Event 7, girls 10 and under 200-yard freestyle. Heat 3, report to the bullpen. Heat 3, report to the bullpen.
Youngsters well into this race right now, and as Purcell continues to push it right now in this breaststroke. We see him in lane number 4 as Howard Quinn finishes up the backstroke. Again, parents, a couple things from having been a parent for a long time with these different swim meets and whatnot. Don't get discouraged if your child can't make it all the way through the IM. We have watched my son develop and my daughter develop, and it took them in my son's case, a long time to get that breaststroke down very solid, so he would not get disqualified, and now he can swim it with pretty much ease. A couple more shout-outs. Shout out to Chris Luckner. Mom and Dad are cheering for you. Go ahead, Chris. Shout out to Ken, playing on 2 basketball teams, swimming and maintaining straight A's. So proud. Elaine and Mike go Parkway. So Kennedy, we talked about her athleticism. She is quite a young athlete, and She showed her quality in her race just a few moments ago. We have known the Johnsons for a long time. Quality family, love having them part of the program. Couple of folks that we want to give some shout-outs to are the folks timing tonight. Want to give a shout-out to Becca Bain, who stepped up, Jamie DeBosch and Melissa Beasley. Thanks for coming in here tonight. Patrick Driscoll, Katie Fichter, Jennifer Howard, and Matt Mollering. Of course, we mentioned Matt earlier this evening, and Matt would love to give a shout-out to all the SIGEPs out there, all the Chaminade alum as well. John Opel, we want to say hi to him, and thanks for timing tonight. Robert Ostick, Tara Petrie, Vicky Robick, and Anna Wellick. Here we come now into the wall. Final part right now for Mr. Purcell. He's going to come in at 3:08.49, and a great time for Michael, his first one. You're looking to establish a time when you come in without ever having swam that race, and nice job for him. And now coming in to finish things out, Howard Quinn. Vicky Robick, we mentioned her a few moments ago, and then Ann Wellick. Those are our timers for this evening. Matthew Judkins took a turn at it as well. And then, of course, all the folks from the board and that help with the technical stuff. I want to say thanks to them as well. Sonny Henley, Katie Schaefer, Trish Hager, Bridget Rashi, and Ruth Price herself, Blair Porter. Thanks to all of them for helping us bring you this tonight as we get set for heat number 2. All right. Lane number 4 vacated, but here's what we've got right now. Kyle Steffen in lane number 1 from Rockwood, an 11-year-old. Noah Girth in lane number 2. He's an 11-year-old for Parkway. Don't be surprised if we get a couple close-ups on him. I would say after all the time his father's done with these young, wonderful productions, he deserves to give his youngster a little bit of a shout-out. Lane number 3, Andrew Bain, looking strong right now in the butterfly. Lane number 5, Taylor Altrogi from Parkway in lane number 12. Our front runner right now is Dane Talent from Heat in lane number 6, looking very strong off of that butterfly. Nice smooth turn for him into that backstroke. Ryan Pinkerton in lane 7 is a 12-year-old from Parkway, and Nick Gallo from Parkway. This will be his first time swimming the event, down at the bottom of your screen in lane number 8. But right now, lane number 6, Dane Talent, and he looks like he's got some talent in this one. And Reese Pinkerton says, go Ryan. Sierra Graham says, nice job, Parkway. Go Wallarito. Whoop, whoop, Dane. So you know that's another one for the shout-outs. That's from the Heat program. Molly Mollering saying, great job to everyone, and thanking all the volunteers as well. Pinkerton. He's on the backstroke. We'll see him go right past Talent, who goes the other way. Pinkerton's still in that backstroke. Talent in that breaststroke. Now, a breaststroke, again, this is a make or break stroke for a lot of these youngsters. Some of them do it better than others. Right now in lane number 3, you see Bain looking very strong. He is trying to close the gap with Talent, and he's doing it just a little bit. Coming down to the battle right now. It looks like it's going to come down to that freestyle. Talent, lane number 6, continuing with about a body length lead. Closing the gap is Bain in 3 and Becker in 4. Or excuse me, Altrogi in 5. Everybody now into the breaststroke. They're going to touch the wall. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be really close, folks. First one to touch the wall in lane 3 was Bain, followed by Altrogi, and then Talent. Now we're into the freestyle, and this is about who's got enough energy left, who saved it up. It's about technique. It's about stamina, and now it's about pure speed as they get ready to hit for this last 25. It's the 2 in the middle pool in lanes 5 and 6. It's Altrogi and Talent. Go Dane from Beth Stone. Go Taylor from Debbie Altrogi. Here we go. We're right down to it. And then young Dane is taking the lead. He's come all the way back, folks. He's going to win this heat. He comes down trying to beat his previous best of 3:10.34. He'll shatter that. He'll go under 3 minutes. His split there, 35.89 and a 2:58.01. Great time for that young man. As we start to see these youngsters drop some time, we start to look again at that, where those stand, and that is just off that solid B time by just about 2.5 seconds. Nice job. Coming in second in lane 8 was Talent. He was strong all the way through. Bain, then Girth with a 3:27.72, drops almost 3 seconds. Lane 5 in Pinkerton in lane 7 comes in 5th. Stefan in lane 1, and then Gallo will finish things out here as he gets into his freestyle, getting a lot of words of encouragement from his coaches. Remember now, folks, you can give me a shout out, 314-369-3289. Let me know your name, who you're cheering for. We want to mention their name right here on the air. Shout out to Claire Petrie, and also shout out to Heidi Haberstroh. Both of those youngsters competing in this 200-yard IM here this evening. I want to give a shout out to the Divine family. Of course, their youngsters swim in the program. Have been with the Parkway program for a while. Multi-sport athletes are those youngsters. Top-notch swimmers as well. All right, now we're going to go to heat number 3 here. This will be a good one, folks. We got some speed in this heat, and we're going to start it off. Top of the screen, Elliott Sapp. He is a speedster. Young 11-year-old comes in with a time of 3 minutes, 0.28. Casey Chapman, of course, he was getting some shout-outs here already. Colby Robick gave some shout-outs to himself, and he also got some shout-outs from his mom and dad. Gio Bucci in lane 4. He's from Rockwood and an 11-year-old. Alex Adkins, also an 11-year-old from Rockwood, and his teammate, Silas Bextermuller. Those are the 3 of the 4 fastest, all 11-year-olds in this heat. An 11-year-old from Parkway, Clark Montgomery in lane 7, and then Samuel Durnall in lane 8 from Rockwood is a 12-year-old. Right now, lane number 5, and it looks like Adkins will come in the quickest with this butterfly, but you look at young Colby there, Bucci and Colby, both of them coming in right in behind in lanes 3 and 4. Into the backstroke now, right on that lane line. It's Adkins in lane number 5. He has about a body length and a half lead as he touches the wall and goes back the other way. Well, we saw in the previous heat, folks, get out to a big lead in that butterfly and that backstroke, but the breaststroke was the difference maker, and that allowed a comeback by Altrogi, and eventually he took the heat when they got to the freestyle. So first one to the wall now, and a fine time is Adkins. His split 107.63, blazing time for him. He's trying to go under 234.46, and he's got a nice breaststroke going. Also good breaststrokes in lanes 4 and 3 by Bucci and Robick. Coming on strong now in lane number 7. That's Montgomery. He's got a strong breaststroke, and he's closing the gap a little bit. Right in behind him is Bextermuller. So everybody giving shout-outs. We got Abby Sapp saying, let's go, Elliott. Let's go, Colby. Let's go, Elliott. A lot of shout-outs right now. We want to say hello to all those folks. Vicki Chapman as well. She's just saying, let's go Rockwood. And give a shout out to Coach Kean as well. Nice job he does. Of course, he's my daughter's coach as well. Has helped my son out through the years. And into the freestyle first with a nice, significant lead right now is Adkins, the 11-year-old. He's looking to shatter his time of 2:34. In behind him, lane number 3 with a strong breaststroke was Colby Robick, followed by Gio Bucci. So we've got a race right now, folks. It is going to be Adkins coming in first in the heat, and he's going to have a personal best time. He's going to go under 2:25. 2:34 was his previous best. Couple more looking to get their best time. Robick's going to get his best time. Bucci, he's going to get his best time. Or right at his best time. Bucci just off his best time, but Robick gets his best time by almost 6 seconds at 2:30.78. Nice job by him. Again, Gio coming in just behind him. So solid double B time for Colby. Adkins, of course, he comes in at 2:23.74, just off of the double A time for him. Third place in the heat, again, was Gio Bucci. Fourth place in that heat in lane number 7 was Montgomery. Fifth place, lane number 6, Baxter Mueller. 6th place and 7th place in 2 and 3 were Chapman and Sapp, and then Dernal in lane number 8. So nice swims for all those youngsters. Some nice drops of time as well. Congratulations to them for a great swim. Well, now we're going to switch things over, folks. We're going to go into the freestyle. So these will go a lot quicker, but this can stretch some youngsters as well. This is 200 yards again, so that's 8 lengths of the pool. 4 full laps. In our first heat, we've got a couple of swimmers, 3 swimmers, in fact, with no time. That's lane number 2, Vivian Borgmeyer. Lane number 3, Addison Lehman. In lane number 6, Amelia Reese. Those 3 swimmers have no time yet. It's Lucy Favaza and Aviana Ganem in lane number 9, or 5. She's a 9-year-old. Stumbling over my words here. Those 2 have established time. So, of course, Lucy Favaza, her father, over officiating here this evening as well. I want to say a shout out to Mike for all the great work he does. Middle of the pool now, lane number 4. That is Lucy Favaza, the 10-year-old. 3:37.04 is her best time coming in this 200-yard freestyle. Also coming in right behind her, lanes number 6 and 3 respectively, were Reese and Lehman. Now, don't forget, we're going to have another one. After we finish up here this evening with the youngsters, we'll have the 13 and overs. They'll have the 400-yard IM and the 500-yard freestyle. A number of those youngsters looking to get some qualifying times for national-type meets, sectional-type meets, and personal best all the way around. Strong swim from Lucy Favaza right now. She continues to push the envelope. She'll go down and touch the other wall at 125. She was under 130 in her first split. Her previous best time of 3:37, she's pacing right on that. She should be pacing well ahead of that, I should say. I want to give a shout out to Claire and Heidi for Parkway. Always love giving those shout outs. I'm telling you, we give a shout out, and those swimmers tend to go faster. Go Addison. Show us what you can do. Grammy and Papa in Mississippi. Well, we've had folks from all over the country. We got an international listener out there yet. We had a couple over the last weekend from Panama. We had one from the Middle East. We get another one, Go Casey. That's from Vicky Chapman. Lucy Favaza continues to push things through here. Go, Riley, go. From Vicky Chapman as well. Give a shout out to from Erica Von Katz to Go Aubrey Zirkelbach. Also a shout out from Chanda Zirkelbach. First one into the wall now. She'll go well under her time. It's Lucy Favaza, 3:15.84 for young Lucy. Great time for her as she shatters her personal best by 22 seconds on that one. And in that 200 free, she's getting ever so close. And that will give her a solid B time now. But first established by her. Coming in second in the heat, lane number 5 was Ganem. Third in lane number 3 was Lehman. Reese in lane 6 was 4th, and Borgmeyer in lane number 2 was 5th. Great swims for all those young ladies. Here we go, heat number 2. This will be a full slate, 200-yard freestyle. 8, 9, and 10-year-olds in this one. We'll start things off in lane number 1 with a 10-year-old. It's Mia Roglic from Rockwood. A couple of 8-year-olds, and Abby Cook and Julia Bucci in lane number 2 and 3, both from Rockwood, both 8 years old, as we mentioned. Addison Howard, a 9-year-old from Parkway in lane number 4. Kylie Montgomery in lane number 5 from Parkway. She's a 10-year-old. fellow 10-year-old, Audrey Zirkelbach. We just got all those shout-outs for Aubrey. She's from Rockwood. Kate Wagner. She's a 9-year-old from Rockwood in lane 7. And then Abby McGuire in lane 8, also from Rockwood, a 10-year-old. Right now, middle of the pool, it's lane 5, Montgomery and Howard in lane 4, the first two to touch. They'll go back the other way after the first 50. Good times of 36 and 37 for those two.
First call, event.
Go Abby and Livy Cook.
Girls 12 and under.
Beast mode, that's from Jennifer Rhinesmith.
Heat
Go Abby McGuire.
Heat 1.
Get after it, Rockwood. A lot of Rockwood swimmers in this particular heat. Go Kennedy Michelle from Maryland Johnson and the Big Claps says, I just got done swimming. Well, Big Claps, who is Big Claps? Go George Go as well from Ryan Pinkerton. Complete lap number 2 now. We'll go back the other way. Montgomery continued to have the pace to lead the pack. Right in behind her is Howard. Best time in this one was Howard at 3:16.73. Third place in the heat now, looking very strong. Lane number 6 is Zirkelbach. Well, those shout-outs are helping that young lady. Channel him, channel him, channel him. One more full lap to go now as they go back the other way. This is Montgomery. She's got about a 2.5 body length lead, stretching it out a little bit. Is young Kylie, the 10-year-old, 3:21.50 for her. That's the time she wants to beat. Best time to beat thus far was laid down by Lucy Favazza at 3:15.84. You should beat that one, be at her personal best in this one. She may try and go under 3. $2:57.19 is that double beat time for these youngsters. She's going to come in hitting that wall first at 2:53.17. There's that double B time for her, 2:58.64. Just in behind her is Howard. She is just off that double B time, so nice job for those two young ladies. Significant drops in their times, but what a solid one, 2:53.17. Third place in the heat in lane number 6 is Zirkelbach again. We talked about those shout-outs. They give them energy. Bucci coming in right behind her in 4th place. 5th place in lane number 7 is Wagner. 6th in lane number 2 is Cook, followed by Rogless in lane number 1, and then McGuire in lane number 8. That's how we round things out here. Now we got one more heat to go. Looks like we've got a full slate. 8 young swimmers getting ready to get up on those blocks. Here we go. It'll be Alini Bexamuller, just a 9-year-old from Rockwood in lane 1. Jane Muirhead in lane number 2. Catherine Carr from Rockwood in lane number 3. Libby Cook from Rockwood in lane number 4. Libby Price in lane number 5. She got the shout out earlier. Ed is a number of these other young ladies. She's a 10-year-old. Katie Kraus in lane number 6 from Rockwood, a 10-year-old. Grace Hager, lane number 7. She's from Parkway and a 10-year-old. And then Chloe Beelan. She's in lane number 8 from Rockwood, a 9-year-old. Middle of the pool right now, looking very smooth. Lane number 5 is Libby Price. Lane number 3 is Catherine Carr, also looking very strong. Of course, Libby's older sister, Lucy, one of the top distance swimmers in the state of Missouri. She swims at the high school level now, also for the Parkway program in Parkway South. She'll compete in the state meet next week. And Mindy Bates says, go Libby. Go Addie from Carson Howard. That's Christopher Howard chiming in. Bucci beat time at 8. Way to go. That's Giorgio Bucci. Way to go, Rockwood. We're getting all kinds. Go Chloe Bellin. We want to hear from you. Keep those shout-outs coming right now. First to the wall last time were Libby Price and Catherine Carr. They're the first two now as they're halfway in. Right about that 1:13, 1:14 mark, looking to shatter their personal best. Libby's personal best, 2:36.30. Catherine's at 2:47.94. Libby Cook came in with the best qualifying time at 2:34.02. Great pace, great stroke. Look at the smoothness and the quietness in the stroke from the two front runners right now. Youngsters, when you go back and watch this one at home, we want to see how to do it. That's exactly what you do. A lot of natural ability, a lot of teaching going on at this level as well. First one in, going the other way. Libby thought she was done, so she loses about a half a second or two. But she's right in there with her. She's picking up the pace once again. Catherine Carr and Libby Price now are the front runners. They've pulled even once again. They're going to come back down the other way into the wall. It'll be Price first one touching, so she made up that little bit of a stroke. Now they're going to go the other way. This one's going to come right down to it. A couple of youngsters, a 10-year-old and a 9-year-old. It's Libby Price and Catherine Carr right down to it. Coaches jumping up and down. You see them at the top of your screen. They're cheering their youngsters on, and Libby Price, she's going to come in. Is she going to be under 2:35? We'll see. She is. Under a previous best, 2:32.91 for Libby Price, as she gets her personal best. In 2:34.13, a personal best as well for Catherine Carr. So nice race all the way around for those two youngsters. Again, when you look at those times, they are both solidly into the A range on that one. Way to go, young ladies. Third place in the heat at 2:43.06. Just off her previous best time is Libby Cook. Winding things out at 5th, 6th, and 7th are Muirhead, Hager, and Bellin. And in 8th place in lane number 1 was Baxter Mueller. Kraus came in 4th. I think I missed her. My apologies in lane number 6, but with a nice drop for her of 4 seconds. But great races all the way around. Congratulations to those young ladies on the A times as they achieved them in that one. Ryan Pickerton, 500s will be later this evening. They'll be in our second session, so we'll get those underway. Hope that answers your question here this evening. Now as we go to the boys. 3 heats of the boys, 200 freestyle. Lane number 1, it'll be Jackson Copus. He's a 9-year-old for Rockwood. Lanes 2 and 3 are vacated. Lane 4 is Liam Locke. He's a 10-year-old from Rockwood. Colin Mozzie from Parkway, a 10-year-old in lane 5. Cooper Lammons, a 10-year-old from Rockwood in lane 6. Jackson Nolhoff, lane number 7. He's a 9-year-old for Parkway. And lane number 8 is vacated. Young Jackson, of course, phenomenal. Oh, actually, lane number 8 is Owen Locke. My apologies. But mentioning Jackson Nolhoff, phenomenal athlete, multi-sport athlete. He can hoop. He can hit the baseball a mile. Of course, his mother, fine basketball player. His father, baseball player as well. So they come from an athletic family, and we saw his young sister earlier, Victoria, show her quality in that IM race. So we're going to give a shout out to them. And as we got a couple youngsters doing battle here. Still, again, reminding all the parents, these are 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds. They're learning each and every time in the pool is a different adventure. Some of them have figured out some pace, some have not. Some of them have figured out where their strengths are at, some have not. And right now, as we go the other way, first one to the wall was Copus, and he continues to lead. Lane number 5 in second place is Mozzie, followed by Locke, Nolhoff, Lammons, and Lauck. So we got Liam Locke, the 10-year-old in lane 4, and Owen in lane 8. Well, we remind everybody now, like, share, subscribe. That's the big deal. That's our mantra here for Kevin Girth and myself. We want everybody to like, share, and subscribe. And what does that mean? Well, it resulted in over 11,000 views of the last Parkway meet, the Senior Invitational. We started the night at 574 subscribers. We want to get that up to about 650 tonight, folks. We know there's some people that have chimed in. We're approaching that 600 mark. Let's get there. Let's get over it. We've got another session here tonight. Strong swim thus far from Kopis. He had no qualifying time coming in. This is his first time competing in the event. Right now, he's going to finish really strong. Mozzie in lane number 5 looks really strong as well. His preliminary time was 3:47.34. First one into the wall, though, lane number 1, Jackson Kopis at 2:56.37. Nice strong time from him. Mozzie at 3:01.22. So he drops significant time as well. He drops 46 seconds off his previous best time. When you look at that 9 and 10-year-old, on where does that rank? Does that get them into a B or a double B time? Well, that'll get both of those youngsters into that double B time. Third place in the heat at 3:34.72, and lane number 4 was Liam Locke. Lane number 6 is fourth place. That's Le Mans, and then Jackson Nolhoff. He'll finish with 3:49. Nice time for him to establish something. And then rounding things out in lane number 1 will be the young 8-year-old Owen Locke. So nice job for him competing in this one. Congratulations to all these youngsters. I can remember as a young swim parent watching, just hoping your son or daughter can get through the race, and then they figure it out, and then they lose their goggles, and they figure out how to get through that one. Well, we got a shout-out. Way to go, Colin Mozzie from Gary Kornfeld. If that's the old coach, if that's the old ball coach, give us a shout. This is Matt Judkins on the microphone. Happy to bring you this one. But young Colin showed his quality right there. Now here we go into heat number 2. Again, lanes 2 and 3 are vacated in this one. It'll be Ryan Blom in lane number 1 from Parkway. He's a 9-year-old. Lane number 4 is Bentley Lewis. He's an 8-year-old from Rockwood. Colin Devine. Again, his mother gave a shout out earlier this evening. He's in lane number 5. He's from Parkway, a 10-year-old. His older brother Dylan, also a competitor in the swim ranks, was a budding tight end as well. Well, we got a first one from abroad. We got one Go Claire from Brazil. It was Yvonne Luna. So there's our first international. First one to the wall here. Lane number 1 will be Ryan Blom. Let's round out the lineup. Ryder Lewis. He's a 10-year-old in lane 6. Chris Luckner, a 9-year-old from Rockwood in lane 7. And then Cameron Wellick in lane number 8. He is a 10-year-old as well. Well, Coach, good to hear from you, and nice to see some folks from some other sports tuning in and enjoying it as well. And give a shout out to Hall of Famer Gary Kornfeld. He was my high school football coach long time ago, way before I had a lot of the gray hair. And of course, he has now moved on and enjoying watching these youngsters, which is great to see. Middle of the pool now. It is Colin Devine as he touches. Nice split for him at 48-48. Other side, lane number 8, 127.22 was the full time for him. And the nice sign, Cameron Wellick. We've watched this young man develop. Of course, his older sister swims as well. Cindy gave a shout out to Colin. He's fallen off the pace, but young Cameron, he continues to pace himself. He's looking to beat his previous best time of 3:31.28. Top of the screen coming on strong right now, Ryan Blom. He's continued with a nice pace. Colin Devine continues to be right in there in lane 5. Coming on strong now, Bentley Lewis. So we'll touch and go back one more time. But nice stroke. If you watch it down here at the bottom of your screen, Cameron Wellick. He's paced himself nicely. He's got a good rhythm going. You look at his splits right around that 45, 48 time. Devine continues to be in second, followed closely in behind by Lewis. But right now, it's Cameron Wellick, bottom of your screen, the 10-year-old from Parkway. Look and see what he can do. Right now, he's under 3 minutes. He'll come in, and will he go under 3 minutes? He will. What a drop for him, over a half a minute, 2:59.41 for Cameron Wellick. Well, again, we've watched this young man develop over the course of time. Coming in second place was young Colin Devine, the 10-year-old for Parkway, followed right in behind him by Bentley Lewis. Colin coming in at 3:06.48, so he'll drop 6 seconds off of his, as will Bentley Lewis. So nice job by those two young men. Lane number 1, Blom, he'll drop 22 seconds off of his. Rounding things out will be Ryder Lewis in lane number 6 and Chris Luckner in lane number 7, respectively. And they all dropped time in this one. But right back, let's talk a little bit about Cameron Wellick's time of 2:59.41 in that one, as he gets a solid B time. So way to go, Cameron, on that one. Final heat now of the boys, 10 and under. We've got Price number 2. That's Henry Price, and let's see if he channels that shout out from earlier this evening. He's in lane number 1. Lane number 2 is vacated here this evening. Graham Hall in lane number 3 from Rockwood. William Zhang, he's in lane number 4 for Rockwood, a 10-year-old. Strong in that first event. Cole Strom, he's a 10-year-old from Parkway in lane number 5. Jacob Corbett, lane 6. He's a 10-year-old from Rockwood. Our first 7-year-old here for the boys. It's the same young man as earlier. It's Adric Bextemuller. He's a 7-year-old from Rockwood. He's in lane 7. And then Dathresh Kali, who swam very strong, the 8-year-old from Rockwood. He's in lane number 8. But right now, middle of the pool, lane number 4, it's Zhang, followed closely in behind by Strom in lane number 5. They're taking it out. Zhang came in with the fastest preliminary time of 2:32.13. That 2:32.13 just off of that single A time, and that's what he'll be going for here this evening. Strom would also like to get there as well. A couple of more shout-outs. Go Claire to my sweet girl. That's from Yvonne Luna. Go Jacob from Jennifer Gutierrez. Abby got us. Let's go Graham Hall. Abby Sapp says, let's go Cole, and go Jacob from Hope Frederick. So thanks to all those shout-outs. Of course, you can text us as well. 314-369-3289. We got one. Go Chris Luckner. That's from Mom and Dad. They're cheering you on. Grandma as well. Say go Rockwood is all the way around. So all these youngsters out here competing so hard. A little bit of a problem with the goggles there in lane 4 for Zhang, and that's always unfortunate. But look at him attack. Look at him go on the attack. He didn't give up, folks. That's what swimming's all about as well. Sometimes you get a little setback in the course of a race, and this young man trying to make a comeback as he's pushing Strom, trying to get back in the mix. Again, he's looking to go under 2:29 to see if he can't get that A time. That's what he'd love to be at, 2:29.39. And they've got a chance to do it now. They've got to get to the other end of the pool. Right now it's Strom. He wants to go under 2:44. He'd love that 2:29. He's got an opportunity to get it. He's going to have to get there fast. Zhang's got to get there quickly as well. Can they get that A time? And it will be Strom. He will touch in 2:32.14. He gets the A time. Oh, we need to go 2:29. I'm sorry, but that is the personal best for him, and it is the fastest, just off the fastest preliminary heat. So my apologies, but 2:35 as well. 61. What a swim from Zhang. What courage he showed. Taking the goggles, adjusting them as he went, still completed the race. Third place in the heat goes to Graham Hall. Fourth place in lane number 8 was Collie. Fifth place in the heat coming in will be Henry Price. Rounding things out will be Bextemuller. So way to go to all those youngsters. It's like also lane 6 was Corbett. We missed his place. He did come in a solid position. Soft touch for him. When I mention a soft touch, that means they didn't touch the pad hard enough to register on the scoreboard, and so therefore their time didn't get recorded there. But the timers down on the deck, that's why we have them, as well as the plungers, those will record the proper time, and then we'll see the standings as they all come out. We'll try and bring you those as they come about. So now we are through 8 events. We got 2 more to go. It'll be the 500-yard freestyle. So somebody asked about the free on 500. My apologies. It's the 500 freestyle now for the 12 and unders. So I didn't realize that those were coming up. My apologies about not having that order correct. So we'll have 3 heats of this 500. And expect these to go about 7-8 minutes apiece. Number of youngsters with no time in this one. Again, this is a distance race at this age. You get to the older ages, it's more of a sprint, but it's a distance race right now. And all these youngsters competing. It'll be Natalie Grinther from Parkway, an 11-year-old in lane 1. Celine Chen from Parkway, a 12-year-old in lane 2. Gabby Green from Parkway, just a 9-year-old in lane 3. Claire Luna, she got the shout out from abroad just a few moments ago. She's in lane 5. She's a 12-year-old for Parkway. Paige Blom, she's a 12-year-old from Parkway in lane 6. Eilena Calix in lane 7. And Sophie Bain in lane 8. 2 11-year-olds from Parkway as well. So full slate of Parkway swimmers in this one. As they will go 20 laps, or 20 lengths of the pool, 10 full laps. Go Gabby Green, that's for mom and dad on the shout out.
Girls 1200, 500-yard freestyle. Heat 3, report to the bullpen, please. Girls 500 freestyle. Heat 3, report to the bullpen.
Well, this will give us an opportunity again to thank all the volunteers who were here for timing tonight. We cannot do these meets without those folks. So we want to give a shout out to them. Becca Bain, Jamie DeBosch, and Melissa Beasley, Patrick Driscoll, Katie Fichter, Jennifer Howard, Matt Mollering, John Opel, Robert Osdike, Tara Petrie, Vicky Robick, Ann Wellick. Thanks to all those folks. Can't do it without the timers. You need them. You just saw why. If you have a soft touch on that pad, you need to have that backup. Of course, our director for the meet is Ruth Price. We can't thank her enough for all the work that she does. Of course, Blair Porter, he is the marshal. You hear him on the mic. You see him walking around in the orange shirt. He's keeping this organized. He's also making sure all the protocols are followed. If those protocols don't get followed, they don't allow you to have a swim meet. So we want to make sure that we give them a shout out, and then the board members and all the other volunteers, Sonny Headley, Katie Schaefer, Trish Hager, Bridget Rashi, they make all this go, checking people in, working the table, doing all of those important tasks. And then you see the coaches throughout the pool deck from all these clubs here tonight. You know, it's a Friday night, and they're out coaching our kids up, and we love to see that. Words of encouragement, technique, adjustments as they go out throughout the evening. Some volunteers as well. You'll see at the left side of your screen, those youngsters, they're helping count the laps. That way the kids in the pool don't lose count. Hope Frederick says, go Jacob. Jason McDowell says, go Gabby. Thanks to those folks for chiming in. I want to thank all the officials this weekend as well. They'll be here throughout the weekend. You can't have a meet without officials. And, of course, just as you are in any youth sport, you need referees, you need umpires, you need an officiating crew to make sure this goes off. And it's a long weekend for those folks as well. And, of course, the sights and sounds for this one, they're brought to you by Kevin Girth. All his setup, he does it. He's a one-man band, folks. He does the producing. He does the directing. He works the cameras. He's working the board. Makes things look good. Gets all that information to you folks. Monitors the message board. Great job by him, and we want to thank him as we are now a little over halfway through heat number 1. Again, these first couple heats 7-8 minutes. We'll get into some faster times with the youngsters that have established times, and we've got some fast youngsters coming up as we get into this one. And, of course, all these youngsters, what are they looking for? Well, the ones who have not swam this before, they want to establish a time. That gives them a benchmark. Where do they go from here? For the ones who have swam it before, they want to get a personal best time. And that personal best time might be one of those A cuts. It could be a AAA cut that gets them to the zone meet, should that come back online at the end of the summer, or into a national type meet like the ISCA meets in Florida, the NCSA meets in Florida in a couple of months' time. So all that stuff important for these youngsters as they continue to grow and continue to achieve. Go Natalie, that's from Melissa. She gives a little shout out. Nice to see that one. So folks will have, again, 3 heats of this for the young ladies and then 2 heats of this for the young men. Then we'll have a break. You can log off of this one, then come back in, folks. Come back in, watch the older kids. We have a lot of competitors here tonight, including some kids going for some national times in the 400 IM and in that 500 freestyle. Some heavy-duty competitors in that one.
For heat 2 of girls 500 freestyle, please be ready to go on the conclusion of this race. Counters for heat 2.
You'll hear a bell sound on the last lap when they come down to it here in just a moment. That'll be the bell lap for this one. They used a whistle here tonight. The lane number 7 here so far. That's Paige Blom. She is a fast sprinter now. She's turning up the heat a little bit. She's in her last lap. If you can see that at the bottom of your screen to the left side, they put up the orange square. That means you're on your last turn. She'll get into it now. No previous time established for her. She's trying to go under 6:45. Let's see if she can get in there and do that. She may go under 6:40. She's going to do it. She coasted in. Let's see what her final tally is. She'll come in at 6:40.19. Good time for that young lady in that 500. Solid B time, and she is just off of that double B time by exactly 2 seconds. So nice swim, first time out. Well, it looks like, did we have a mistake in there? Well, they didn't register her time. Coming in right behind her in lane number 3. Well, scoreboard not quite right, but in lane number 3 at 6:41 is Green Gronberg. In lane number 4, lane number 6, or excuse me, lane number 5 is Claire Luna. Nice drop for her. So all 3 of those young ladies with significant drops in their previous best times. Lane number 2, Chen, and then Grinther in lane number 1. Coming in 7th in the heat with a nice time was Eilina Calix and then Sophia Bain. Sophie Bain. I'm sorry, I put the extra A on there. Nice established time for him. So everyone under 8 minutes for the first time out for those youngsters. That's tremendous. Way to go. And some nice significant drops in that race. Go Gabby, A time cut. So they were right on it. Those youngsters were cruising. Very, very strong. And Gabby was just the 9-year-old there, Gabby Green. She shattered that. All right, here we go to heat number 2. Full slate here in this one. Lane number 1, Livy Cook from Rockwood. She's a 10-year-old. Lane number 2, Clara Budge. She's a 12-year-old. Lane number 2, Leah DeBosch. In lane number 3, powerhouse swimmer, young 11-year-old right now. She's got the early lead. Jessa Lee in lane 4, also a phenomenally good distance swimmer. 12-year-old for Parkway. Sophie Schmidt in lane 5, 12-year-old from Parkway. Rockwood, 11-year-old, Anna Locke in lane 6. Allison Moffitt, a 12-year-old from Rockwood in lane 7. And then Libby Price, the 10-year-old from Parkway in lane 8. We saw her quality earlier in that 200-yard freestyle. So well, we love to watch these youngsters achieve those time cuts again. We just saw Gabby Green, the young 9-year-old, do that in a very tough 500 race. Pure distance race for these youngsters. And they figure out early, if they're good at this one at a young age, they figure out how to pace themselves. So they have the strength and the endurance to make it through. Right now, you're seeing that come through nicely. Lane number 4, that's Jessa Lee. We talked about her a few moments ago. Of course, her sister Samantha, also quality distance swimmer, one of the top ones in the state of Missouri at the high school level. And looks like Jessa following right in suit with her older sister. Schmidt right in behind her in 5th, and then DeBosch in lane 3. Good job, Claire. Go Jessa from Ryan Matheny. Strong right now. All the swimmers right now looking very good against your varying in ages here from 10 up to 12. The 2 outside swimmers, Libby Cook in lane 1, Libby Price in lane 8. They are the young 10-year-olds looking to establish them, see if they can't move up that list for those quality cuts in this race. And I'll tell you this, at this young of an age, to be able to complete a 500-yard event, that's a tremendous feat in and of itself. And, of course, these 2 youngsters, nice double B times already for those 2 10-year-olds. So, you know, they're looking to increase that really and drop some more time. Just a little over halfway through the race now. Pace continuing. A number of these young ladies with an opportunity to go under 6. Jessa Lee would love to drop into that under 6 range. Give her a solid A time. 5:52.19 would be the double A time. She's looking strong with an opportunity to do the jet and achieve that time here this evening as well. Also strong there in lane number 5, Sophia Schmidt. We'll have one more heat of the girls here in this one, and that will be a good one, folks. We got some fast times coming into that one, including some girls who are in that AAA range right now, and that should come right down to it. Sophia Ann, we love you. That's from the Bunners. That's from Bunners and Papa. So there you go. Go Parkway from Deborah Strom. Shout outs all the way through. Again, we talked about these triples and things like that. Well, we'll have our first 2 AAA swimmers coming up, and we got one who is just a hair off of that triple. So we want to make sure that those youngsters can get in there and get that triple. We're gonna see exciting race in that next one, so stay tuned for it. Right now, we got some swimmers dropping time and looking strong here as they're going to hit the wall. Jessa Lee continuing to lead in this one. And she's going to come back on her final lap here in just a moment. We'll hear the horn or the bell, one of the two. Looks like they got the cowbell out. They got the cowbell out for Jessa Lee. So right now she's looking to go under 6:15.21. We'll see if she can do that. She gets under 6:07. That'll be the A time. 5:52.19. That would be the double A. She's going to be close to that double A. Can she come back in under 12 seconds? Going to be close for her. On the sprint now. Jessa Lee coming down to it. Not going to quite get to that double A time, but a solid single A for her. Great swim as she touches the wall, and she'll come in at 5:57.70. She drops 18 seconds almost off of her previous best time. So nice job for young Jessa Lee. Well into that A range, more than halfway to that double A. So nice swim by Jessa. A couple shout outs to her. We got a woo woo, another one from Elise. So like to see those woo woots coming along. Second place in that heat, lane number 5 was Sophia Schmidt, followed closely in behind her. Lane number 3 by DeBosch. What a swim by young Leah as she drops 8 seconds off of her time. Lane number 6 was Locke. She dropped 17 seconds off of her time. 5th place in lane number 2 was Budge, right on her time. 6th place, Libby Price. Libby Price with a significant drop as she drops 23 seconds off of her previous best time. So that's how we'll round things out as we got one more swimmer in. Oh, coming in 7th place, was Moffitt. Moffitt just a little off her time, and then we'll round things out now with Livy Cook here in lane number 1. But what a nice drop for a number of those young ladies, some A swims and whatnot.
Swimmers, next to the pool, please.
Libby Price with a solid double B time in that one, and she is now just a little off of that A time. So she'll be approaching that before no time at all. Now here we go with our final heat in this one, and this is a good one. Starting at the top of your screen, lane number 1 is, these are all 12-year-olds except for lane number 8. So 12 years old, Sydney Schultz, Rockwood. It'll be Riley Parisi from Rockwood in lane number 2. It'll be Sydney Matheny in lane number 3. It'll be Sydney Schenk in lane number 4 from Rockwood. It'll be Ella Wolf from Rockwood in lane number 5. Olivia Johnson from Hannibal in lane number 6. Jenna Ridings in lane number 7 from Parkway. And then Addison Pfeiffer, the 11-year-old from Rockwood in lane number 8. This is a strong class of swimmers, folks. Middle of the pool right now, you're looking at AAA type swimmers. Matheny just missing it. And let's go Riley Parisi. That's from Mom and Dad and Maria. Jenna Ridings, very punctual, very disappointed when the adults are not. That's from Mike. Mike always has a nice word of humor for us, so good to hear from Mike. Of course, his daughters all swim for the Parkway Club and longtime family as they support swimming throughout the St. Louis area. His older daughter, Lucy, swimming at the high school level as well. So nice to see all those folks giving the shout-outs. And we want to hear from you, too. You can text me 314-369-3289. And Sydney Matheny just missed that AAA. That's what she's going for. AAA times, folks, for those of you not familiar with it or you're new to the swim, that gets you to what's called a zone meet for the age group swimmers, which is 14 and under. That's an elite level swim meet. Top 6% of swimmers in the country qualify for those, and that's what those AAA times are. And right now, the two leaders in the middle of the pool, in Wolf and Sheck, they already have those times achieved, and Matheny is just off of it. So you can bet they're going to go full out to try and do their season's best right now. Mary Liston giving a shout out to all the swimmers in this one, saying strong heat across the board. I would agree. You look at them right now, they're all in rhythm. Of course, you got differing age groups, but all these young ladies doing their best and swimming with power, precision, and speed. Great technique as well.
Event 10.
We approach the halfway mark here in this one as they touch the wall.
Heat 2, report to the bullpen, please. Heat 2, report to the bullpen.
previous best for Sheck and Wolf, 5:23.55 and 5:28.50 respectively. As they're halfway through, they are under that right now, both of them, considerably underneath that. And then Matheny right in behind it. Her split also in behind at the half, or underneath her previous best at the halfway point. If they maintain this pace, they're going to have all nice drops here, and it will be a satisfying evening for the youngsters. Sheck picking up the pace a little bit, but they're pacing off each other as well. Two teammates here, both from Rockwood, and Sheck and Wolf, a couple of 12-year-olds. So, you know, they're in practice together, going strong all the time. And you see that oftentimes. Sometimes you get into a race like this where two competitors are very familiar with each other. They know how they're going to react. They know how their turns are. They know how many strokes they're going to do. Right now they are neck and neck, and they're almost in sync as they come down to the left side of the pool, left side of your screen. Matheny solidly in third. Fourth place, lane number 6 is Johnson from Hannibal. Right in there close in lane number 5 are Ridings and Parisi, and then followed by Schultz and Pfeiffer, all looking very strong at this point. Lap and a half to go for the two front runners here in this one. And they'll get the bell here. This will be the bell lap, folks. That means one more to go. You hear it right now. And it's Sheck. Sheck has passed up Wolf a little bit. She continues to be on a nice pace, but Sheck has just picked it up. Matheny right in there behind him as well. She keeps her pace. She was at a 34 last time. She will shatter that AAA. AAA time in this one is 5:36.89. Again, but some personal times, and these are going to go low. Both of these first two young ladies are going to go low. First one in, Sheck, as she pulled away. She's going to come in at 3:19.02. What a time for her. That may get her to the quad. Let's see if it does. It gets her under the wire in the quad, and then 3:21.41 is under in the quad. So the first two on the quad. The third one a AAA for Sydney. So way to go to those young ladies, all achieving tremendous times in that one. Way to go. So it went 5:21.41, 5:27.23, 5:31.13. Excuse me, I think I said two quads. One quad, Ella Wolf under her previous best time, but that is still a triple. But great time for those young ladies. Fourth place in the heat, lane number 6, Olivia Johnson. Fifth in lane number 7 was Jenna Ridings, as she drops 3.5 seconds. Sixth place and seventh place were Parisi and Schultz in lanes 2 and 1, and then Addison Pfeiffer, the youngest competitor in the heat, she drops 8 seconds and rounds things out. What a race. Drops all across the board in that one. Tremendous, tremendous. We see our first quad A of the night, a couple of triple A's as well from a couple of youngsters that really went out and competed. So congratulations to Sheck, Wolf, and Matheny for those cuts and getting that one. I hope I didn't read that score wrong, but way to go. Nice job, ladies, from Ryan Matheny across the board, and he's correct. That was a heck of a race. Endurance, power, technique. It takes all of it. It takes speed. It takes some good mental capacity to do that one. Older kids starting to filter in now as the youngsters make way for the older kids for later this evening. But we still got 2 heats of the young men. In the first one here, in this one, it'll be lanes 2 through 6, starting in lane 2 with an 11-year-old. It's Andrew Bain from Parkway. Caleb Opel from Parkway, the 10-year-old in lane 3. George Martin, he's from Parkway. He's in lane 4. We got a couple shout-outs for George earlier. Mason Mollering, he's in lane number 5 from Parkway, and of course, his dad is timing him, so that's a good thing for him. And then Abram Shank, the young 9-year-old, He's in lane 6. His father's an official here this evening. So a lot of storylines with that one. And right now, front running here, lane number 3 is Caleb Opel. None of these youngsters have an established time in this one. So it'll be interesting to see how they manage themselves when it comes to pace, when it comes to making sure they have their energy level right. So Scott Martin says, let's go George Martin. First time doing that 500. Let's go Abram. I agree. These youngsters all look very strong. They'll figure this out as they go. This is a learning exercise for these youngsters as well. Again, a full heat. None of these youngsters having swam this in competition before. Of course, their coaches put them through all of the exercises during practices and workouts, but this is the first time they'll do it for an establishment, and we'll see how that pops out for them. Well, Aaron Shank writes in, he goes, most of your siblings to young Abram are all there cheering. They all are swimmers, except for mom and baby sis, Lulu. They're out in the car. They're cheering from outside. They're waiting for you. Grandparents are cheering from away, and they're so proud. They're saying go. And, of course, his father here as well as an official. We've got a nice pace going here in this one. And again, it takes a lot for these youngsters to come out and do this for the first time. And this one, 9, 10, 11, and 12-year-olds all represented in this particular heat. And when you swim it for the first time, you try and figure out, what does it mean? How do I pace myself? You make sure you don't go out too fast, but you make sure you get a nice even keel on your strokes. Good breathing technique, and then you have enough left to bring it home at the end. And again, when we start these heats, some of them swimming it for the first time, this may take 7.5, 8 minutes. But the joy in the whole thing is they make it through. And once they have that sense of accomplishment, then they figure out, okay, now how do I pace myself? Then they figure out, okay, now how do I go fast when I pace myself? Some more Let's Go Abrams from the Shank family. Three-quarters of the way through this race for the front runners here in this one. Just 2.5 laps remaining for those two. All these young men hanging in there and really making it go. We remind you now, like, share, subscribe. That's what we want you to do on that YouTube channel. Share it with your friends. Hey, you know what? Check out young Johnny. Check out young Janie. Cheer them on. This is a good way to stay involved with the kids when we can't have the live spectators. We do the best we can to bring you the sights and sounds here. And, of course, have yet to find a better man in the business, the one-man band himself, Kevin Girth, who brings you all of this with his technology. He brings the cameras, he brings the monitors, he brings the computer system. I just get to be the beneficiary and sit here and watch and describe it all to you to make sure we know who's out there in the pool, which, as long as I'm not butchering the names and we've got the proper listing, we're about 90% accurate probably. But you can always chime in. If I mispronounce something, send me the name. Send me the proper pronunciation. You can do that at 314-369-3289. Young swimmers, young ladies getting in with their teammates, encouraging them, telling them to get it going. We got the bell lap now. First one to the wall. It'll be Opal again. Nice split for him. Trying his established time to go under 7 minutes. If he can do that, that'd be quite an accomplishment. Mason Mollering coming in second. So the couple of 10-year-olds in this one right now, they're leading the pack. As they look strong, Opal right now, again, he's going to be just over 7 minutes. Mason now turning it on for one last jaunt down the pool, trying to go under 7.5 minutes for his first established time. 7:07.62 for Opal. Moller will come in with a nice time. He'll come in 7:19.94. Nice time for him. Third place in the heat. Looks like that's going to be George Martin. Good strong swim for him. No, he's still going. Okay. Third place in the heat will be in lane number 6. That's Abram Shank. He's looking strong. Just a 9-year-old. He's got his last lap coming through. There it is as he gets the orange square. Orange square as well for George Martin. That's your lane number 2. It was Andrew Bain. He finishes out in third place. So scoreboard had it off just a little bit a moment ago. But nice job for all those youngsters. Some strong time, solid in the double B range for Opal and Mollering. So nice job for those youngsters. And a single B time for Shank. So nice job for all of those youngsters. All right, now, heat number 2. This is our final event for this session. We'll have 7 swimmers here in this one. It'll be Taylor Altrogi, and we saw him show his quality in an earlier event. He's from Parkway. He's a 12-year-old in lane 1. Colby Robick, fast swimmer, lane number 2. 12-year-old for Parkway. It's Gio Bucci, also a very fast. Oh, Bucci scratching out of this one. My apologies. Riley Lewis, fast swimmer from Rockwood in lane 4. He's a 12-year-old. Fellow 12-year-old teammate, Connor Dunker. He's in lane 5. Max McMillan, an 11-year-old from Rockwood in lane 6. Christopher Nelson, 11-year-old from Parkway in 7. And then Tommy Fichter in lane number 8. He's the 12-year-old from Parkway. He does not have an established time yet. Middle of the pool right now, leading things off, it's Lewis and Dunker in lanes 4 and 5, respectively. They came in with the fastest times at 6 minutes, 0.59 and 6:02.40. So those are their previously established best times. And that's what they're looking to beat. They would like to get under 5:57 and get to that next cut, which would be the A cut for them. Grandma and Grandpa said, go Abe. We'll give them a shout out. Christopher Nelson, his parents and grandparents, they're watching in San Diego. So young Christopher, go get him. Go Taylor. That's from Debbie Altrogi. Hope I pronounced your last name correctly, Debbie. If not, send me a text, 314-369-3289. As the comedians say, we're going to be here all weekend. I'm here all weekend. We want to get it right. Middle of the pool, 1 and 2, lanes 5 and 4. That's Dunker and Lewis.
Okay, section 2 swimmers, listen up. At the conclusion of this 500, you guys' warm-up is going to start ASAP. So get dressed, get ready, but do not come down to the pool deck yet. If you got to go to the locker room, go to the locker room and go back upstairs. Thank you.
Well, they're ready to warm up for the later session. That'll be the 13 and over youngsters. They'll get ready to compete again. 400 IM tonight and 500 freestyle. So Kevin and I, we've got still a couple more hours here. Those will be long events for those youngsters. They're distance events. But as you get older, they become sprint events as well. Chris McMillan says, go Max. That's Max McMillan. He's in lane number 6. And right now, young Max looking strong. He's solidly in 3rd place, followed closely in behind by Colby Robick. All these youngsters right now well ahead of their preliminary time coming in. Grandma and Grandpa, give a shout out to Colby Robick. Had a chance to talk to young Colby as I walked the pool deck earlier this evening. He's confident. He felt good about this evening's events, and right now he's showing his quality. Looking to drop a significant amount of time. Again, he'd love to get in that A range as well. He sits solidly in that double B time. So a little drop for him would get him there. As these young men continue to pace. Fastest time again, just slightly over 6 minutes. 0.59 over, and that was Lewis. Right now, he is just in behind Dunker. Rockwood teammates, we saw that earlier with the young ladies with Sheck and Wolf. Eventually, it was Sheck pulling away at the end after Wolf kind of was the one to start the pace for most of the race. We've got a similar scenario right now. They're going to go into the final bell lap. Here they go. Off the wall. It's going to be Dunker first, followed by Lewis. Who's got the juice left in the tank? That's what we watch for here in this one. Right now, they're seeming to be pretty much on pace with each other. But Lewis closing the gap ever so slightly. It was about a 3/4 body length lead when they hit off the wall, but it is Lewis closing it up a little bit. Folks that make, how do you swim 500 yards? And it comes right down to it. Well, these two young men are going to do it. Let's see who's going to get the first one to the wall. Dunker slightly ahead of Lewis. Dunker, and it is Dunker just out touching Lewis. And they'll drop some time here. Both of them with personal best. Dunker 5:50.13 for him, so he shaves off 12 seconds in his 5:50.38. That's how close it was, just 0.25, a quarter of a second difference, and he shaves off 10 seconds in his. So way to go, young men. 3rd place in the heat in lane number 6 was Max McMillan's. Colby Robick coming in 4th place in the heat with a 6:16.62. Nice drop for him. of almost 7 seconds. So both of those youngsters showing their quality. Next one in the heat, lane number 7, Christopher Nelson with a strong swim. He shatters his previous best time, besting it by 34 seconds. Final 2 swimmers coming down to it are Victor and Altrogi. First one to the wall as it remains. It's going to be Altrogi. He'll drop. Well, he's going to drop almost a minute, folks. 6:53.56, and Victor will get his first time at 6:56.18. Way to go, young men. Exciting race. And that's how we'll wind things out in this one. Well, it was exciting right down to the end. Well, we hope you've enjoyed all of it so far here this evening. We're going to take a break here. We're going to log off of this one. Be sure to log on to our evening session for our all-around ace and jack of all trades, Kevin Girth. My name is Matt Judkins. We hope you've enjoyed this one. We'll bring you more here in about 25 to 30 minutes. Be sure to log on. Until then, grab a snack, and so long. What are you swimming?